Welcome to Friday Morning Dharma on May 22nd. Thank you for being here, everyone. Let's begin with some meditation. We can begin by settling in into a comfortable meditation posture, the most important feature of which is for our spine to be straight and relaxed. A straight spine facilitates unrestricted flow of our internal energy winds, sometimes called prana, sometimes called chi. Our mouth is closed, our jaw is relaxed. And if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and softly close your eyes. And as a preliminary practice to our Lamrim meditation, I would invite you to silently recite the following mantra: rest, relax, allow. On the inhalation, silently recite the word rest. At the top of your inhalation, silently recite the word relax. And as you exhale, silently recite the word allow, as in allow the world and everything in it to be as it is, which is the only way it can be in this moment, as it is. Rest, relax, allow. We can now gently transition into meditation on the inner body. Please be the silent observer of sensations that may start in your hands and your feet in the form of a tingling, perhaps a lightness, perhaps a heaviness, perhaps a pulsation. No analysis is necessary. There's nothing to figure out. Just be the silent observer of these sensations and allow a more tranquil, awakened state of awareness to emerge. a perfectly valid method of practicing this meditation is for you to observe sensations in so-called isolated parts of your body, your hands, your feet, the region of your chest, and so forth. An even more valid method of practicing this meditation is for you to observe one universal sensation extending from the crown of your head to the tips of your fingers, to the soles of your feet, and all space in between. Whichever method of practice you choose, please continue to be the silent observer of sensations. No judgment, no labeling, no comparing, no expectation. Now, Now, please gently redirect your awareness. Become aware again of your physical body and allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of your physical body. Become aware again of your surroundings inside the room that you're occupying. Deeper and deeper breaths, becoming aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you are occupying. Become aware again of clouds, of blue sky beyond the clouds, of outer space beyond the blue sky, of limitless space beyond the blue sky. And we dedicate all of the merit, all of the positive energy from this morning's meditation to world peace. May all beings without exception soon come to enjoy a state of complete, perfect fearlessness. May all beings without exception enjoy inner and outer peace. May we enjoy inner and outer freedom. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Thank you. Thank you very much. So in Monday's class, we talked about refuge practice in general and Sangha, the Sangha jewel in particular, Sangha being a Sanskrit word which refers to spiritual community or our collection of spiritual friends. And I talked about some different ways and reasons, some different motivations for us taking refuge in our circle of spiritual friends. We encourage each other, we support each other, we try to perhaps inspire each other in our practice, in our spiritual practice. But one that I want to just add on, a really important role that Sangha can play, should you choose to allow them to play that role, your spiritual friends, is they remind us to stay on the path, right? Remind us um, to go for refuge, to qualified objects of refuge, right? We have worldly friends who can give us worldly suggestions to kind of deal with things when things get rough. Yeah. Our worldly friends, and we love them, of course. I'm not saying that our sort of like non-Dharma friends are less than. And, they do give advice that probably doesn't qualify as refuge. And what I'm talking about here is like when things are going really badly and we're in a really rough state and we need some counsel that's really going to help, like counsel that doesn't have side effects, counsel that actually works, we're having relationship problems, or whatever it might be, financial problems, Some advice we might receive from our more worldly friends are, you know, spend some time on social media. Yeah. Go on Facebook and that'll take your mind off of things, or take a trip somewhere, right? Take a trip, so try to go travel, get some chocolate, get food in general, chocolate in particular. That'll make things better. Yeah. And it might for a little while, right? But we're not looking for little while relief. We're looking for sustained relief. And our Sangha friends remind us to go for true objects of refuge, go to the Dharma, essentially, go to the Dharma and take refuge in these practices, these wisdom-based practices that don't give sugar buzz forms of relief. Yeah, where, like a little bit of a high and then we crash and then maybe hopefully get back to equilibrium. Yeah, we support each other that way by giving reliable, valid suggestions for dealing with stuff that's coming off the rails sometimes. Okay, the next Lamrim meditation, actions and their effects, also known as karma. This is the sixth and final meditation in the initial scope meditations. And I just want to remind us, I think everybody on the call knows what I'm about to say, and you might not know this, but the text that we're working from, that we're drawing from, is the New Meditation Handbook. And in the introduction, Geshe Kelsang says the foundation of everything that's presented in this book is basically based on two factors: past and future lives and karma, you know. And Geshe Kelsang isn't saying you must believe in past and future lives and you must believe in the laws of karma for you to study this book and do these practices. No, he's just saying that, reader beware, practitioner beware, everything is built. Everything you're going to read in this text and the meditations that you may choose to practice are built on the foundation of the importance of recognizing past and future lives and karma. Okay. So please keep that in mind as we talk about actions and their effects, karma. And I think most of us have a general understanding of what karma is. Karma, Sanskrit word which means actions, as in actions and their effects. Yeah. And I'm actually delighted. I teach meditation at Aldo Leopold Middle School 3 afternoons a week, and all of the kids there know what karma is. These middle schoolers are already familiar with karma. I ask, write karma on the chalkboard. Does everybody know what karma is? Yes. Is there anybody who doesn't know what it is? No hands are ever raised, and I don't think it's because they're afraid of being embarrassed. Just essentially, karma, the more standardized teaching on karma is what goes around comes around. You reap what you sow with your actions, right? If we are generous, we're going to be the beneficiary of generosity in the future, right? We're going to enjoy abundance. Yeah. If we speak disrespectfully to someone or harshly, that creates the karmic causes for us to, at some point in the future, be spoken to disrespectfully or harshly in the future. Now, here's kind of the more subtle aspect of karma. And I think this is, to my way of thinking, the more important level of karma to understand. And I've talked about this before, and those of you who've heard me talk about this before, Tina and others, sort of bear with me. But it's really important, and it has to do with something that my teacher says over and over. The fully ripened effect of karma is feelings. The fully ripened effect of karma is feelings. And what he's pointing to here is that there is an intention behind the words that we use. There's an intention behind the things we do, the words we say. And it's really those intentions that drive the experiences that we have through our actions. And for us, everything is experience. This example that I've used many times, bear with me on this, please, is I give Dawn a gift, right? I give her a gift. The laws of karma say I will receive a gift, not necessarily from her, but in the future from somebody. I am generous towards somebody. I plant a seed, and when it ripens, the conditions are right, I will receive a gift in the future. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'll be happy when I receive that gift in the future, right? Let's go back to my action of giving a gift to Dawn, right? I could have a lot of different intentions or motivations for giving a gift. I could give Dawn a gift because I want her to give me a gift in return, right? Or because I want her to like me, or because I want her to run around Silver City telling everybody what a generous person I am, right? Yeah, those are intentions that I could have for giving the gift, like an internal action that's taking place, right? Or I could give a gift to Dawn because I think she'll like it. I think it will improve the quality of her life, and I want her to have a high quality of life, right? So that internal seed is planted, right? The potential for a feeling. You guys are yawning. This is like really important, okay? So like lock in on this, okay? Ho hum. It's only the laws that are going to determine my future happiness. You know, yeah, wake me when it's over. Yeah. So when my gift giving seed ripens in an external way, right? Then the intention behind my giving the gift in the first place will be activated in the form of a feeling. That karma ripens and somebody says, and I receive a gift. It might be like, what does this person want from me? Yeah. Or it's about time, that I received this gift that I so richly deserve. Or you call this a gift, you know? Or it could be, I'm so touched. I'm so touched to receive this gift. Oh, another like negative that just occurs to me. I don't deserve this gift, right? This like these old things of self-hatred come forth, kind of a scourge of modern society. That's not a sutra, that's not a Dharma teaching. It's just a Jeff, Jeff, 65 years of experience, observation, you know. But I won't go down that path too far. But I do think that lack of self-love and self-hatred is something that really ails us. But if that can be out of the way and I receive a gift and the genuine intention behind my giving, the selfless, hopefully loving intention behind my giving a gift, that potential ripens. The causes and conditions are right. When I receive a gift in the future, it's like, I'm so touched. I'm so touched that you thought to give me this gift. Thank you. Thank you. So do you see this like external karma and internal karma? And why my teacher says the fully ripened effect of karma is feelings? That's what we're talking about here. And I think if we really think about it, I've got some sort of scientifically oriented friends who say, you know, there is no scientific proof that says, I'm talking about external karma now. I've got my like scientifically oriented friends who say, I don't believe in karma because you can't prove to me that my engaging in an act of generosity will result in my being the beneficiary of result at some point in the future. There's no scientific proof for that whatsoever. And they're not wrong. You know, I can't argue that point. I mean, between us friends, I talk about the laws of nature, and it kind of makes sense to me that way. But in terms of some clinical trial, some data that's compiled over 30 years, no such thing exists. But it makes sense to me, internal karma. I mean, I feel it in my bones that it's true that like attracts like with regard to the energy I put into my words and my physical actions. That makes sense to me, you know? And I guess there's no scientific proof of that either. But to my scientifically inclined friends, I would offer that and have offered that. Doesn't it just make sense in your bones, in your heart, that if I put forth good energy in the form of intentions, that I'm going to receive that through similar good energy and feelings? The fully ripened effect of karma is feelings. My concern, I'm spending a lot of time talking about my doubting, scientifically oriented friends, and I shouldn't. I put that message to us here collectively. Doesn't that make sense? It makes sense to me. Just the simple law of attraction. Yeah. I give and I speak and I act from a heart place with a loving intention, a compassionate intention that's going to come back to me. Not from anything anybody does necessarily, but just the ripening of goodness within my heart. I think that's the deepening, the feeling that comes from the ripening of goodness in my heart. I think that's the real sort of foundational importance of karma. 9 o'clock. I can't believe we're going to finish on time. We will we will move into on Monday intermediate scope teachings. So thank you for being here. Ann Miller, thank you for joining us. Thank you everyone for joining us, and have a great weekend.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Yeah, you're most welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. Bye.
Blues Fest. Yeah, we're having medicine Buddha meditation despite Blues Fest. So, okay.